The focus of this video is on Form 1095A and Form 8962, and this is for those who buy health insurance on the health insurance marketplace, and but for those who buy the health insurance from the health insurance marketplace, at the end of the year, you should get Form 1095A. And then we would need to use Form 8962 to report all the information from 10.1095A. So here we have a single filer named John Smith, and he bought the health insurance from the health insurance marketplace, and then he received Form 1095A. And so now he needs to fill out Form 8962 and also Schedule 2. And this is John Smith's W-2. And so his for 2023, his wages is $32,000, and federal income tax withheld is $1,500. And so now we go to Form 1040. So this is Form 1040, and then here we have first name, last name, John Smith, social security number, home address, and then for this tax return, we'll go ahead and use the city of Houston, and then Texas, zip code 77001. Filing status, single. No Bitcoin, no digital currency, so it'll be 0. John Smith was not born before 1959, not blind. And then single, no children. And so line 1A lists his income from the W-2, which is $32,000, and then he has no other income sources. And so all this would be 0 or blank. And then 1Z, it just combine everything from 1A to 1H, and we get $32,000. No taxable interest, no dividends, no annuities, no social security benefits, so everything here is 0. So line 9, we get $32,000. So this is the total income for John Smith. No Schedule 1, so it'll be 0. Line 11 is just subtract line 10 from line 9, and we have $32,000. Line 12 is the standard deduction. So standard deduction for single filers is $13,850 for year 2023. So we have $13,850. Line 13, no Form 8995, so it'll be 0. Line 14 is combined lines 12 and 13, and we have 13,850. And line 15 is taxable income. So we do 32,000 minus 13,850. Then we have 18,150. And so this is the taxable income. And so now we need to figure out the tax liability for this taxable income. And to get the tax table for year 2023, we can Google it. So 2023 tax table. And we'll get this link. This is the link for the tax table. And then this is the tax table. The taxable income is $18,150. So we'll scroll down until we see 18,150. So 18,150, and then this is the column for single filers. So for a taxable income of 18,150, the corresponding tax is 1,961. So once again, taxable income of 18,150, tax corresponding tax is 1,961. Now we'll go back to form 1040. So line 16, this is the tax. So it's 1,961. And then line 17 says schedule 2 line 3, and this is where we would go and fill out the information from the form 1095B, which is the health insurance. So this is form 8962. So this is called the premium tax credit, and we'll go ahead and start with the first part here. But in order to fill out this form, we'll need the information from form 1095A and 1095B, which is the health insurance marketplace statement. And so for anybody who buys health insurance from the health insurance marketplace at the end of the year, you will get a statement like this. And then part 3 is the information that we'll need. And so we'll come back to this part in a few minutes. So back at form 8962, line 1, it says family size. So this is the, we have a single filer of just one person. And then line 2A, we need to calculate what's called the modified AGI, or adjusted gross income. And so to do this, we need to go get the worksheet from Form 8962 instructions. So to get the Form 8962 instructions, we'll just go to Google and then Google it, and then we'll get this link right here. And then it will take us to the instructions for Form 8962. This is Form 1040, line 11 is 32,000. So we have 32,000. And then line 2 here, we go to Form 1040, line 2A. Line 2A, nothing, so we just input 0. Go to Form 2555. And so for this tax return, Form 2555 is not used, and so it'll be 0. And then line 4, here go to Form 1040, line 6A and 6B. 6A, 6B, nothing. And then line 5, combine everything in lines 1 through 4, and we have 32,000. Now we go back to Form 8962 and input this figure in line 2A. We back at Form 8962, and in line 2A we have $32,000. And for this tax situation, there are no dependents, and so line 2B will be 0. Line 3, they just combine lines 2A and 2B, and we have $32,000. And then this is the federal poverty line, line 4. And to get this figure, we need to go back to Form 8962 instructions, and then go to line 4. So we're back at Form 8962 instructions in line 4. And this is what line 4 looks like. And line 4, it has, this is line 4 here. There are 3 tables, table 1-1, table 1-2, and table 1-3. And the table 1-3 is for people who live in Hawaii. And then table 1-2 is for people who live in Alaska. And then the rest of the other 48 states is to use table 1-1. And for this tax situation, the family size is just 1, since we just have 1 person. Then the poverty line number is 13,590. And so this is what we put in we put on line 4 of Form 8962. So line 4, Form 8962, we have 13,590. And then line 5, to get this number, line 5, we also need to go back to Form 8962 instructions. So this is Form 8962 instructions, and then now go to line 5. And so it says this is line 5, and so we need to complete this worksheet here. Get the amount from line 3 of Form 8962. Form 8962, line 3 is $32,000. So we have $32,000. And then here's to go to Form 8962 and get the figure from line 4. Line 4 is 13,590. That's the federal poverty line. So we have 13,590. And then line 3, multiply line 2 by 4. So 13,590 times 4 is 54,360. And then line 4, is line 1 more than line 4? Line 1 is 32,000. Line 3 is line 1 more than line 3. Line 1 is 32,000. Line 3 is 54,360. So obviously is no. And so if it's no, then we need to divide line 1 by line 2. Divide line 1 by line 2. So 32,000 divided by 13,590 is 2.3546. And then turn this into a percent. So 2.3546 times 100 is 235%. And then here's do not round. Just multiply by 100 and then write it as a percent. 2.3546 times 100 is 235%. And then that's what we put here in line 4. And then now take this 235%, go to Form 8962 and input it on line, and then enter it on line 5. So line 5, we have 235%. Nothing on line 6. And then this is called the applicable figure. And to get this figure, we need to go back to Form 8962 instructions. And then notice that line 5 is 235%. Okay, in order to get the figure for line 7, we can need the figure in line 5. So once again, the line 5 here is 235%. So this is line 7. And then what we need to do is in each box here, there's 2 columns. So the first column is that percent number. So we're looking for that 235%. So here's 235%. Then the corresponding applicable is called the applicable figure. Applicable figure is 0.0340. And then enter this applicable figure on line 7 of Form 8962. So Form 8962, line 7, the applicable figure is 0.0340. Line 80 is to multiply line 3 by line 7. So 32,000 times 0.0340 is 1,088. Line AB, divide 1,088 by 12. So we divide 1,088 by 12, we get something like 90.66, and then it's a round to the nearest whole dollar. So 90.66, we round it to 91. And then we need to answer questions 9 and 10. 9 and 10 has to do with part 4, and this has to do with people marry and getting divorced and all of that. And so in this case, we have a single, no married, not married, and so we just answer no. And so if you're one of those situations that's marry and then get divorced, then you also need to complete part 4 or 5. But in this case, it's just no. And then line 10, to answer yes or no, what we need to do is go back to Form 1095A and look at columns A and B. So here's Form 1095A. And then this is part 3. And then look at the numbers in column A from January to December, and we see that they're all the same. And then also look at column B, and then look at the numbers from January to December, and we see that they're all the same. And then both of these columns here, from January to December, if they're all the same, then we just answer yes. Yes, sir. And what it means is this: if we answer yes, then we can just take the shortcut instead of filling out this entire table right here. If we answer no, then we have to complete this entire table in here. But here we answer yes, then we just need to complete this line 11. And to complete this line 11, again, go back to Form 1095A here. This is 33, column A, so 33A will be 8,400, 33B will be 7,800, 33C is 7,200, and that's what we put on line 11 here. So this is 33A, 33B, and 33C. What 33A? This is the insurance premium for the entire year, and so this, so we know that depending on what health insurance plan is selected, some will cost $7,000 for the whole year, some will cost $8,000, some will cost $9,000, and then for this particular tax, for this single filer, he chose a plan that cost $8,400. health insurance plan that costs $8,400 a year. And depending on, and this number right here is depending on what city, what state you're living in, and it's determined by the government. And this is the amount that the government is willing to subsidize. And so the annual premium is $8,400, and the government will subsidize $7,800. And then column C here is the number from this, from line 8A, which is 1,088. And this number here depends on the adjusted gross income. And so in this case, we calculated it, and it comes out to be 1,088. And so what it means is this: the taxpayer or the single filer will also have to pay an extra $1,088 towards the insurance premium. So instead of the government paying $7,800, the government will now just pay $6,712. That's $7,800 minus $1,088. And so now for year 23, for this particular tax situation, the government will subsidize $6,712 instead of $7,800. And then line E here, column E here, is to input the smaller A or D. A is 8,400, D is 6,712, so we have 6,712. And so, and then column F here, this is what the government has already paid to the the health insurance company. So once again, this is the annual health insurance premium, $8,400. This is what the government will subsidize. This is what the government has already paid the health insurance company. And so we can see that the health insurance, the government has paid the health insurance company $7,200, but it only needs to pay $6,012. So which means that the government overpaid, and then the taxpayer has to repay the government the difference. And so line 24 here, this is 6,712, and then line 25 is the 7,200, which is what the government paid to the health insurance company. And so the difference here is 488. And then here, since line 24 is not more than line 25, we leave this blank. And then line 27 is just the difference here, 7,200 minus 6,712. So once again, the government will only subsidize 6,712 towards the insurance premium, but the government paid the health insurance company $7,200, which means that the government has overpaid. And so now the single filer, John Smith, has to repay the government $488. And then we cannot leave line 28, we cannot leave it blank. And so to get the number for the figure for line 28 here, we need to go back to Form 8962 instructions and look at line 28 and then get this figure. And this is line 28 on Form 8962 instructions, and this is called the repayment limitation. And so we need line 5, we need the figure from line 5 of Form 8962. Form 8962, line 5 is 235%. So line 5 is 235, so it's at least 200 but less than 300. So line 235 is between 200 and 300, and therefore the corresponding repayment limitation is 900. And so this is what we will use, 900. And so line 28 is 900, and then line 29 is the smaller of line 27, line 28, which is 488. So this is the amount that the government overpaid for the health insurance premium. And now we need to take this figure of 488 and go to Schedule 2 and then enter it on line 2. This is the Schedule 2, and then line 2 we input 488. And then line 3 is just combine lines 1 and 2. And then now we need to go back to form 1040 and then input this 488 number on line 17. So we are back at form 1040, and then line 17 is 488. And this is the tax liability. This is what the government overpaid for the health insurance. And so now combine line 16 and line 17, we have 2,449. Line 19, no child tax credit. Line 20, no Schedule 3. Line 21, add, combine lines 19 and 20. We still have 0. And then line 22 is subtract line 21 from line 18. So 2,449 minus 0 is 2,449. And then go back to Schedule 2, line 21, and see if there's anything there. And there's nothing on Part 2 of Schedule 2. So line 21, there's nothing here. So we have 0. And then line 24 is combine lines 22 and 23. We have 2,449. So this is the total tax. And then recorded from John Smith, the single filer, from his W-2, the federal income tax withheld is $1,500. And then nothing here. So 25D is $1,500. 26, line 26, 0, and then nothing here. So line 32 is 0. Line 33 is combined lines 25D, line 26, line 32, and we have 1,500. And so for this single filer, the total tax is 2,449, but he only had $1,500 income tax withheld, and therefore this single filer will owe the government, owe the IRS, $949. 2,449 minus 1,500, we get $949. So this is the amount owed. And again, to file this tax return online, then the IRS also has what's called the IRS fillable forms. So just go to Google and then type in IRS fillable forms. And then click on Start Free File Fillable Forms. And then if you have an account already, sign in. If not, just create one. And then once inside, you just need to input Form 1040, Form 8962, the Schedule 2, and then also the W-2. And so in summary, the focus of this video was on Form 1095A for those people who buy health insurance from the health insurance marketplace.